What's going on, YouTube fam, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some common misconceptions about Latin America. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out here have probably heard some things that seem over-exaggerated, kind of cliche, or maybe you've experienced some of these things and you know what the truth is. Now, a lot of people say a lot of different things about a lot of parts of the world. There's a lot of misconceptions about the United States, where I come from, about Russia, about China, about Australia. Any place you could think of on this earth, there's a lot of people who have misconceptions of this place because of what they heard, what they maybe seen on the news, or maybe what people have, told them, and articles they've read. And some people have known that some of these things aren't what they are said to be, and then some people haven't experienced these places to know, oh, it's not like what they were saying, or oh, it is like they were saying. So this is a little informational video just to break down a few common misconceptions of Latin America, okay? The whole Latin American region. So we're gonna break it down, and let's get started with number one. Lawlessness. Now, a lot of people, and I've seen it, I've read comments over the years, people talking about it, crazy stuff, that lawlessness. It's lawless around Latin America. Every single police force is corrupt. There's no order. You could do whatever you want. It's like a dystopian future. That is incorrect. As a person who has lived and traveled extensively around Latin America, I can tell you that while there is corruption issues and there is, situations like that, there's a lot of places that you're just not going to get away with crimes. It's just, they're in place for a reason. So don't go around thinking like, oh, I just do whatever I want, and then, it is what it is, or thinking that it's dangerous because it's like, oh, all those places in Latin America, they have no law, people doing whatever they want to do. And no, that's not it. That's not it. Now, you're going to find some outliers or some places where it seems like there's no law, but in general, there is law and order. There are rules put there, and they are enforced. Okay, so don't go thinking it's just some, like I said, some dystopian crazy movie from 2050 where it's just no order and it's all chaos. No, there is order, and there are rules in place, and there are laws for these countries. Each countries, they have their own laws, and they're set in place, and that's just how it is with any other country. It's not like you're going to step off the plane and somebody's just going to rob you at the airport and get away with it, and no cops are going to chase them, or any kind of crazy scenario you could come up with in your head that may happen in a place where there's no rules, there's no law, there's nothing. That's not going to happen, okay? Unless you're in some weird small place where it's just like kind of like a rogue town where people are like vigilantes are taking over. It's very few and far in between, and I mean very few and far in between. So yes, law and order does exist in Latin America, and it's not to be messed around with, because some places have harsh penalties and you don't want to see the inside of those jails, okay? So just know that you can come to Latin America and you can travel around, live around, and know that there is law and order in all the countries, all right? So let's get to number two. Okay, the next misconception. Everybody in Latin America is looking to leave to go to a first world country like the United States or Canada or the UK or Germany or Spain. That is not the truth. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people who love their countries. Argentinians who love Argentina and don't want to leave to live in another country. Costa Ricans who love Costa Rica and are fine just living in Costa Rica. And the list goes on. Bolivians in Bolivia, Peruvians in Peru. So it's not like, oh, well, Latin America, they're just looking for a better life. They want to get out of there and everything's miserable. No. There's a lot of peace. There is a lot of beauty. There is a lot of great things in Latin America. And not everybody's looking to leave. Not everybody wants to escape. Not everybody wants to get out of here. And, not everybody's trying to migrate. No, it's not the case. And that goes along socioeconomic lines. Just because a person has less money doesn't mean they necessarily want to leave their country. A lot of people are very proud of their country. They like their country. They like where they live. So not everybody just wants to get up at the drop of a dime and just get out of there. The first thing smoking to, XYZ country, okay? So no, not everybody in Latin America wants to escape or wants to live elsewhere. Not necessarily escape, but wants to live elsewhere. A lot of people like where they live, and it makes sense. I mean, if you look at Mexico, 128 million people, I think they like something about Mexico, Argentina, 40 something million people. I mean, it's not bad for everybody, or, whatever you may think. All right. So no, not everybody wants to leave their home country in Latin America. People enjoy it there. And that's the general. Yes, of course, there are people who want to leave, but the vast majority are quite fine living in their country and they like their country. So there you go. That's number two. Number three. This is a good one. Not everything is corrupt and dangerous in Latin America. A lot of people think that everywhere you step foot, you got to be worried about corruption or police asking you for bribes and, detaining you on false pretenses or, getting shot or stabbed or robbed, whatever it is. It is not like that across the board. Now, of course, there are areas where these things happen. Of course, I'm not going to act like, everything is all, roses, but most of the whole area is not corrupt and dangerous. Now, there are some places that are. I'm not going to mention anything specific, but there are some countries that it's quite widespread. But even when places like that, you're going to find safe areas, okay? And not everybody's out to get you. Not all the cops want to, extort you, things like that. Not everybody wants to rob you or do harm to you, okay? So don't think that anywhere you go in Latin America, it's just going to be like, dangerous. You got to have eyes behind your head. It's not like that. And as a matter of fact, if you look at two countries in South America, Chile and Uruguay are among the least corrupt countries, not only in Latin America, but in the world. Police are very honest, and society there is they have a lot of order. They follow the rules. Yes, of course they have their issues in each of those countries, but it's not like it would be in maybe Honduras or maybe how it would be in Nicaragua. Okay, these are parts of Latin America that are very stable, very safe. And while you could be safe in any Latin American country, these are just generally how things are there. And corruption is very, very low. Cops are very honest. And and people are just not trying to get bribes and trying to get over, and it's not like that. All right, so don't think that everywhere you're gonna go, it's gonna be like dangerous and you got to deal with corrupt cops and all this stuff like that. Yes, it does happen, but it's not widespread everywhere across the region. Okay, so get that out of your mind if you were thinking it, and if you weren't thinking it, good, because it's not that way. All right, so let's get into the next one. All right, this one is a hot take, but I'm gonna go right into it. Everybody loves foreigners everywhere in Latin America. They love foreigners. They love people from the U.S., from England, from, Ireland, from Australia. They just love them. Nope. Not everybody idolizes foreigners. Now, when I say that, I don't mean they dislike foreigners. That's not what I'm saying. But it's not that foreign envy like some people seem to think. Like, oh, yeah, you're American. You step there and people kiss your feet. Oh, you're from Canada. You just go to XYZ country and they're going to love you just because where you're from. In some instances, yes, a lot of people do idolize these foreigners, especially like culture, from Western countries that are very popular. But it's not like you're just going to step off the plane and be like, I'm a foreigner. Everybody, just idolize me, bow their feet, roll out the red carpet. No, it's not like that. It's not like that, okay? You could just be a regular person. They'll see you as a regular person. And it's not like they have anything against you, but they don't think you're the best thing since sliced bread, Like I said, some places you'll find where they're really into foreigners, they really think you're hot stuff. But don't just expect to step anywhere in Latin America and think, you're the bee's knees because you're from a first world country or, a famous place or whatever it may be. Nah, it's not going down like that, okay? We're all people at the end of the day, and most people are just like, okay, you're cool, but I don't care if you're from another country. Like, it's not the most special thing in the world to me. Because a lot of people that think that like, oh, if you're a rich foreigner, or if you're a foreigner, from, Western country, they're just going to be all over you like you're amazing. Nope, not going down like that, all right? So don't let that enter your head. And if anybody said that, they're full of it, all right? I'm setting the standard, letting you know now in Latin America, that's not the case, all right? So let's get into the next one. All right, another hot take, here we go. Not women and men are looking to just get green cards. Let me elaborate. If you're a foreigner and you move to Latin America, let's say you're from the US, let's say you're from the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, right? You come, you live here in Mexico, or you live in Panama, or you live in Colombia, or anywhere in Latin America, Brazil. Not all the women and men there are just looking for a way out. Like, they're not just like, okay, well, you got to be careful. They're going to, because I've seen so many things, they got to be careful. They're looking to get a green card. You don't know if it's true love or not. Nope. Not once and anywhere in Latin America have been, and I have extensive experience in Latin America. Have any women ever asked me to marry to get the green card? It just hasn't happened. No, I'm not saying there aren't women out there who are thinking like that. Also men, for you ladies out there. But I haven't had that experience, and I've been all around Latin America, live in different countries. It's just not like it is. Maybe it was like that before. I don't know. but not everybody's looking for a green card. And if they're open to dating foreigners, a lot of these people just want to stay in their own country, but they like dating foreigners, people from a different culture, different background, but they are just as happy to stay wherever they are, you know? So if you go to, let's say, Guatemala, for example, and you're in Guatemala, you meet a local Guatemalan girl, and she may be middle class, she may be lower in the socioeconomic status, and you two hit it off. It's not necessarily that, oh, yeah, so when are we going to the United States, or when do we get married? It's not always going to be like that. A lot of them are just have different positions in life, and maybe they're more well off, maybe they're not, and maybe they could be well off as well. And, you know, they just are open to dating foreigners, so it's not a big deal. So not everybody's just all like, oh, green card time. Oh, there goes a gringo, green card, let's go. No, it's not like that. It's not like that, okay? So don't let that fool, and don't let, you know, you guys, and you ladies out there too, don't think that you're going to show up and some man or woman is going to pretend to love you and then next thing you know, get married, get a green card, and just disappear. It's not like that. That's a big misconception that I've seen over the years. One of the biggest, honestly, you know. So, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have heard this, you know, like green card, their eyes get all, you know, like money signs. No, it's not like that. Don't have to worry about that, you know. People are open to dating people from other countries. If you come here, they're not just looking to get on the first thing, you know, smoking, go to the U.S. or wherever you're from to live a life and get a green card, okay? So just know that. And then we're going to get to the last one next. Well, in Latin America, isn't everybody like poor or below the poverty line? Like people are like eating bread and drinking water for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Like, what? Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. No. Let me tell you something. In Latin America, you're going to find a lot of money floating around these regions. It doesn't matter if you go to a poorer country, and this is no shade on this country, like Nicaragua. Okay, it is a third world country. I spent time in Nicaragua. I had a great time. There's a lot of beautiful things, and there's people there living a high life. You know what I mean? Yes, there's a lot of poverty, but there's people there living a high life, just like here in Mexico. Way higher life than I ever had, or maybe I never will have. Who knows? I don't know the future. But it's not just, you know, poverty everywhere and nobody, you know, has electricity and like, I'm telling you, you would be surprised at some of the neighborhoods you see, like here in Mexico and Guadalajara, Mexico City, like Polanco, Santa Fe, Roma. I mean, those no remnants of a third world or, you know, people just like roughing it all day. A lot of people here in Mexico, there's a lot of wealthy Mexicans that live very comfortable lives, even way more comfortable than I can ever imagine. Okay, that is real talk. And in Brazil, too. I've seen it with my own eyes. Lived in Brazil for 3 years. I've seen some rich Brazilians who are straight chilling and balling out of control. I'm telling you, Colombia, same thing. All around Panama, there's a lot of money in Panama. A lot of people living comfortable lives. Costa Rica, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. So don't think that everybody here is like poor and, you know, they're just trying to scrape by and get the next little crumb to eat or begging you for money. No, it's not like that. There is a lot of money. There's a lot of development. There's a lot of people living very comfortable lives in Latin America. So, you know, I'm not saying none of you all thought that, but if any of you all thought that, just come to Latin America and you'll see. You're going to be like, what? Where am I? Is this Beverly Hills? Is this Central Park West in New York City? You know, it's crazy. So it's really interesting to see too, you know, especially if you're from the Western world and a first world country. It's like, wow, this is nicer than some stuff back in my, you know, my home country. And that's real talk, all right? So those are just a few misconceptions, common misconceptions about life in Latin America and how things are in this region. Come and see for yourself. I hope this video cleared up some doubts for you if you had any doubts. And trust me, I'm your guide to Latin America. I know what's going on. I don't know everything, but I know a good bit of information. So there we go. Latin America is a very diverse place, and it's not what everybody says or a lot of people say. It's like gospel, you know, like all the things I talked about happen everywhere around the region, all right? So that's all. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I appreciate you coming back. For my returning viewers and subscribers, if it's your first time, appreciate you checking me out. Hit that like button, subscribe. More videos coming soon. This is Where's Jarell, live from Guadalajara, Mexico. And you all have a great weekend out there. And I'll see you in the next video coming soon.